Good morning, Carbondale. How is everybody doing this Monday morning? It is absolutely beautiful out. So I hope whatever you're doing today, you get to get outside some and enjoy this lovely fall weather. All right, so if you didn't know, everyone, it is SIU Homecoming Week. It kicks off today with a pep rally and then launches into just an amazing week full of activities for our students and our alumni, and we have just an absolutely incredible weekend coming up that we are going to tell you all about today. I'm going to touch on some highlights here for you. So the SIU School of Theater and Dance is putting on their production of The Lightning Thief, the Percy Jackson musical. This is going to be really cool. It touches on some Greek mythology, but in this really fun, modern, elaborate way. There's going to be some amazing shadow puppets, which I'm very into. This kicks off on Thursday at 7:30 p.m., runs Thursday through Sunday. So the Thursday through Saturday shows happen at 7:30, the Sunday show at 2 p.m. And you can get your tickets for this production at theateranddance.siu.edu, or you can go up to the McLeod Theater box office anytime this week. So very excited about that one. Another amazing production that's going to be happening on our downtown strip is with the Stage Company. They are putting on a production of 1984 based off of the classic novel. So this kicks off on October 10th. They'll have their opening production that Thursday evening. Then it will also run on the 12th and 13th, and also the following weekend on the 17th through the 20th, my apologies, 17th through the 20th. This all happens at the Varsity Theater. Thursday through Saturday performances at 7:30 p.m., Sundays at 2. And you can check out tickets at www.stagecompany.org. All right, another amazing thing happening this weekend is the Little Grassy Get Down Music Festival out at Touch of Nature. This is such an amazing fest, music from all over, lots of cool local music, and you're out there in the woods. It's just a beautiful time. So this runs October 11th through 13th. You can find more info at touchofnature.siu.edu, and that's actually ton.siu.edu. All right. And there's the SIU Homecoming Parade this Saturday morning at 10 a.m. But the big thing we're going to talk to you about today, drum roll, this huge, amazing, iconic homecoming celebration that we are going to have this Friday evening, October 11th. I'm going to introduce one of my three guests here to tell us what this event is. Dina Hahn, will you tell us what is happening Friday night?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, Eva. I'm so grateful to be here. And honestly, just to kick off this homecoming week, we're really just gearing up this anticipation for Friday night, friends. So Friday night, we have teamed up with our friends, the SIU Alumni Association, with River Radio, Carbondale Main Street, and we're throwing an epic rager.
Yes.
So we're throwing a party downtown Carbondale to send off the final farewell of Jungle Dogs, our iconic local band Jungle Dogs. We are sending them off. This is their last show ever, and we're closing down the strip to host this show. Yeah, pretty thrilled.
So excited.
It's just going to be a lot of fun. So we are creating a free, family-friendly, and fun event downtown Carbondale. Now, the fun, doesn't have to just start in the evening time. You can start during the day, heading down to the strip, supporting your local establishments, and then transitioning into the evening for our Off the Rails homecoming concert.
Yes,
Yeah.
Kicks off at 7 p.m. with Modern Day Saints, another band that got their start right here in Carbondale. They'll play from 7 to 8:20, and then Jungle Dogs are going to take the stage for that farewell concert, 8:30 to 10.
Oh yeah, and to get things going, we're going to start kind of a little bit early. So at 6:30, we're going to get the festivities kicked off. We'll have food trucks, vendors. We'll have a lot of Saluki spirit in the house, all ready to have a great time.
Yes, amazing. All right, I want to introduce the other guests we have here with us. You mentioned we're throwing this party with River Radio and the SIU Alumni Association. So I have here with us Steve Fallett of River Radio. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing today?
Doing all right. How about you? Thanks for coming
I'm
in.
still breathing,
Yes.
Yeah, that's what happens on a beautiful day like this.
Absolutely. Nice big fresh breaths. I love it. Hey, well, thanks for coming from one radio station to another,
No, you
joining us
bet.
here.
We always support WDBX. We partner with you guys for many years on many different events and with high school sports. So we've been doing that and been partners and supporters for years.
Well, thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hey, and while we're talking about support, I got to shout out Pledge Week happened last week for WDBX. An amazing amount of money was raised. And I see on the board here, Pledge Drive continues this week. So y'all can continue to donate to WDBX. Follow in River Radio's footsteps. Help support this nice little local community-run radio station.
Well, it's very interesting because people just think, oh, well, you just turn the button on and you go, but there's a lot involved in putting together, a radio station and a lot of equipment, a lot of expense, and, it takes money and takes volunteers, which you guys are all volunteers, so that's amazing, right, in itself.
Yeah.
But you guys need all the support you can because it takes a lot of money to keep this radio station on the air.
Yeah, well, thank you so much,
You
Steve.
bet.
Really appreciate that. And I have also with us, final guest to introduce, Molly Hudgens, SIU Alumni Association. How are you?
Good morning, Eva. Thanks for having us here today. We're
course.
kicking off a great week in Carbondale. It's homecoming week at SIU, which is always a big event, but I think the Friday night epic rager that we're throwing, Jungle Dogs, Modern Day Saints, closing down the strip makes it an even bigger weekend. We're excited to welcome our alumni back and the community to town on Friday night.
Yes.
It's my turn. Epic Rager. I mean, we heard Dina say that. Now, Molly, you said it.
I
got
had
it.
to get it in
I
there.
followed it.
Rager.
Epic
So there we
Rager,
go.
baby.
I
It's what
have
we're
to
doing.
say, I challenged, I wanted to use the word epic, and now Dina's thrown in Rager, so we're going to just throw it all together.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a big Carbondale, party, and that's really what we're about. We want to have fun. We want to have that family-friendly component. And we were over at River Radio this morning, and we were really talking about just what an opportunity this is to showcase entertainment to multi-generations. And so it's going to be a really unique experience and definitely an epic rager as we send off Jungle Dogs and have Modern Day Saints in town.
Let's see how many times we can throw that in there.
Oh,
Just
perfect.
like this interview.
Who's-
Epic Rager.
Who's keeping the tally? Hashtag Epic Rager. I hope someone shows up with like a handmade Epic Rager t-shirt, please. You'll win some kind of prize. I can't guarantee what it is, but I'll make something for you.
Absolutely. I mean, this is Salukis on the frontier, so really we want to lean into all of what we can have. Like we can go down to the thrift shop. They've got some great deals this weekend. We can go support local and come in our cowboy and cowboy outfits. Let's go.
Absolutely.
Well, it's funny you said that about going to the strip and going to the
The thrift shop.
Yeah, the thrift shop. Because, the Jungle Dogs started right here in Carbondale back in the mid-'80s, so let's all dress like we were in the 80s.
Ooh,
So there you go.
that's a fun idea too. Well, and I love how...
That would truly be an epic rager.
Oh, absolutely.
Always.
It's taking it back. Yeah, and that genre span too. We got Modern Day Saints, there's some post-punk, Jungle Dogs have that kind of reggae ska feel to them. And then, throw on your cowboy hats to match this homecoming theme. And that's Carbondale music scene for you, a little modge podge of all of it.
Carbondale's always had a great music scene, and we're just happy to get to be a piece of celebrating it, bringing it back. I think it's a great time, and Dina can talk about it a little bit more. But obviously, we're kicking off the Arts and Entertainment District that's gonna open. You all did the dedication of that plaza, and what a great way to really kick that off and showcase it as a piece of the Off the Rail series as well.
Yeah, and when you're talking about that nostalgia, you're talking about Carbondale and the roots that laid that foundation for where we're at today. We have all of these folks to thank for that. And so being able to bring everyone back together in the heart of downtown, we're super thrilled. We're going to be placing this mobile stage. So for some of you that are just tuning in, the City of Carbondale, we've been hosting this Off the Rails concert series where we've been bringing in our own production, the 6 and 8 productions, and we've been bringing in a mobile stage to throw these concerts each week. So we set up and tear down. And so this iconic event is going to be one of the last times that we'll be bringing in a mobile stage. So the City of Carbondale broke ground last week or 2 weeks ago on our downtown entertainment and events plaza, which phase 1 is to build a permanent stage in downtown Carbondale. And so really to kind of tie this all together, this was just the right thing to do, to host the show on the Strip, kind of like we did back when Jason Isabel came through. Really just host a good time downtown, letting it be walkable for people to go in and out of these businesses, to support local artists, and then have a great time while we really have that fun component with Jungle Dogs on that stage on the Strip. So it'll be a great setting. The Sims, the new multimodal transportation center, is going to be that backdrop even behind that stage. So really just lots of action here.
Totally. So much life being brought downtown, step by step. And we've had some businesses in Carbondale that have already lived in Carbondale for decades, but they have just moved down to the Strip. We got Plaza Records, Mike's Music, Plaza moved in with Cristado's Cafe. So it's really just cool. Again, this music factor, right? It's such a heartbeat and thread of Carbondale.
Yeah, and I think I saw a post somewhere this weekend where I think it was Cristado's being like, hey, look, like the Strip is the place to be this weekend. And you know what? I'd like to challenge that and say the Strip is the place to be every weekend.
Yeah.
And so we have this opportunity to really show all this old nostalgia, the new, what's to come, and just thread that in within these multi-generations. So pretty stoked to be part of that history here.
Absolutely. Molly, with that nostalgia factor, can you kind of talk to us some about the SIU Alumni Association, kind of what your goals are, and kind of this dream that, you came to us and were like, hey, can we shut down the Strip? Can we bring Jungle Dogs and shut down the Strip?
Sure, I have to say the Alumni Association is really excited to be part of this event. Obviously, Eddie, the Jungle Dogs, the band are all famous SIU alumni, and this was a chance for them to give back to the university and give back to the group that helped them get their start. So Eddie actually reached out to us probably 8 months ago and said, we think this is going to be it. This is going to be our final show ever, and we really want it to be for the alumni on homecoming weekend.
Awesome.
And Jungle Dogs have had a long history with SIU, with the students. You hear so many people say, "Oh my gosh, it's what was part of my college experience," and I'm the same way. I was a part of that early '90s in high school here in Carbondale, seeing the Jungle Dogs, and now all the way through college. So for them to say, we want this to be our final show, we want it to be for homecoming, we want it to be an alumni association, it meant a lot. And for me, then that meant, well, we need to do something big for these guys. They have been such a part of the Carbondale music scene, and they've traveled the country to play, but nonetheless, their heart is right here in Southern Illinois, and we needed to make sure we sent them off in style. So they played a great concert for Heron Fest this spring, and this is going to be their final one. But it was just an opportunity for us to partner with some great partners in River Radio, the City of Carbondale, Carbondale Main Street, and really say, hey, we can send them off on campus, but wouldn't it be better to send them off in the middle of where they got their start, and that's Carbondale. And so with the help, we've really promoted it to the community with the help of River Radio. The city has come together to be able to close down the Strip on a Friday night of homecoming is just huge. It says a lot for the forethinking of our city manager and Stan Reno, the mayor, the community to come together. As we know, SIU and Carbondale are synonymous, and the more we can do together, the better off we are. And this was just a way to send off an iconic band in style, but also come together as a group and really kick off a partnership that I think is going to take us even bigger places in the future as well.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for that. And it's so true. And bringing that nostalgia piece, showing students like, hey, this is kind of what our past looks like. And then lo and behold, that's what these students' present looks like, right? They get to build these new memories.
Yeah, there's a great vibe on campus right now. Enrollment's up, but it's even more than that. It's more students, but it's also the students are out, they're present, they love the culture that they're getting at SIU. And so this is one way to show our current students, they've heard so many stories about how great Carbondale was in the 80s and 90s. This is the chance to show them. We're bringing alumni back, students together, we're inviting the community out. It's a free concert on Friday night. We want all generations there. Somebody said this morning when we were on River Radio, I bet we have 3 generations, grandparents, parents, grandchildren that are all there Friday night. That's exactly what we want.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, how cool, how cool. With that music scene just through and through and all this on the Strip, Steve, you're such an integral part of the music scene in Southern Illinois at Wide. You promote so many concerts and have helped out with so many groups. So what's kind of your take on this?
Well, when Molly and I first started talking about this, and she mentioned that you know, you guys started doing the conversation behind the scenes when she got the call from Eddie, and you know, the Jungle Dogs have been a part of the Alumni Association and Homecoming, I think, the last couple of years. They've played on campus, you know, over there by Pulliam Hall, back where the new SIU Alumni Center is out there in the plaza back there. And so those have gotten really good, you know, results, and people have joined in. But like Molly was saying, it's so iconic to have them back out on the Strip, and not only out on the Strip, but you know, I think it was just brought up in a flippant conversation. Hey, what if we closed the Strip? And I believe Steve Mitchell was in the meeting from the city planning commissioner,
Economic development.
Economic development, and he was like, well, all we have to do is ask, and then, you know, so we have to thank IDOT also, because being Carbondale, you know, they can close the side streets if they like, but you know, when it's a state highway like Highway 51 is, you have to also get, you know, Illinois Department of Transportation involved. And I made a call as well, and I mean, they were like, absolutely, this is a great idea. That never happens. I mean, because that's a hard thing to get done. To close the Strip, that's not an easy thing.
Yes.
Because it is a state highway, and they take that really seriously. So the fact that they just jumped when this happened, that tells you right there how iconic this is going to be.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely.
So I think it's just bringing it full circle, because, you know, I came here in '81 to go to school, so yeah, I'm showing my age. Been here a long time, and the Jungle Dogs were just getting started in the mid-'80s, and I've known Eddie Chapa for almost that entire time, because him and his wife and daughter lived in Murfreesboro at the time. That's where, you know, we were living at the time as well. So all my girls grew up in Murfreesboro, and so my middle daughter and Eddie's daughter, Carmen, are best friends. And so they grew up together. So I've known Eddie for a long time. We've been with the Jungle Dogs since then. You know, we've taken our kids. So we were talking multi-generations being out there. Kids can go out there because it's fun music.
Yeah.
You know, Eva, you mentioned the ska and reggae. And I mean, if you ever listen to music like that, you can't help but move.
Right.
And so all ages can do this. I mean, even if you have a hip replaced, you can do this. You know?
Hey,
because, you know, some people, you know, going back in the 80s or 70s or whatever, you know, they may have had that, you know. So, but that's okay, you know. Or if you're a child, bring them, because you're talking family friendly. And I was here also, and I was lucky enough to MC the Jason Isbell concert too, that they closed the Strip down, and that's been many years ago. And that was such a cool atmosphere to see the sea of people in the middle of the street from that stage with this, you know, because Jason Isbell has really become an iconic artist, and we had him right here in Carbondale. He did a private show at the Varsity Theater prior to that, and then came out and, you know, did his show. And I mean, I bet we couldn't even get him now.
Yeah,
you
sure.
know, as big as he's grown. And you know, the Jungle Dogs were on the verge of that. That song, Jump Up If You Like Cold Beer, was, I mean, paper thin away from hitting it big. Something happened and it just didn't make it, but that's their iconic.
I bet we're going to have a good time with that song on Friday night, don't you, Steve?
Definitely.
I mean, because that's kind of what they're known for. And it's fun music. The fact that the Strip is closing down at 11 a.m. And I know, Dina, you're going to be mentioning all the businesses in Carbondale that are going to participate in having specials all day. That's what's going to make it even more iconic.
Yes.
I love it.
At the
Great
Granger.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I know I would like to just mention, you know, with all those deals too, the best way to stay updated and
Oh,
We may need a donation for a new microphone.
Yeah.
Had a nice little microphone stand situation here. That's
It's okay. We we're all in this.
Yeah,
we
you got it.
know the routine here, but bear with us, folks. We are having some technical difficulties, but don't worry. You put
And a
all this in
rager
the room.
here
We
in the
got it.
WDBX studio.
While we're working on that,
Yes.
Eva, you had mentioned also that it's homecoming week at SIU.
Yeah.
So homecoming week is a big week at SIU. We've got beautiful weather for it. You mentioned the pep rally tonight. There is also a couple of other great events. Block party for the students on Thursday night. Obviously, we have the concert downtown Carbondale with Jungle Dogs and Modern Day Saints on Friday. And then we'd be remiss to mention homecoming parade, football game Saturday afternoon, 2 p.m. kickoff. But we have alumni tailgate in partnership with the 80s and 90s, a great sponsor, and Roll 'em Up Smoke Shops for that tailgate. So all of that's going on Saturday. Busy day on campus. The glass pumpkin sale is also going on around town. So Carbondale is the place to be this weekend. I'll turn it back to Dina. We have some great specials going on for the concert Friday
Well,
night,
real
too.
quick though, also
Yeah.
tonight, don't forget tonight at 5 o'clock over there by Feiner Plaza,
Oh yeah.
we've got the SIU student homecoming pep rally.
Okay.
That
Yeah.
I'll be emceeing as well. We'll have Chancellor Austin Lane will be there. We'll have Coach Nick Hill from Saluki Football.
Mhm.
So we're going to kind of get the whole week of homecoming theme kicked off today at 5
Absolutely.
o'clock.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, what a great kickoff too. And I mean, with the music, it doesn't stop on Friday night in Carbondale. You know, we go into the weekend. We have all of Saturday's homecoming festivities, and then we also still have the Little Grassy Get Down on Saturday and Sunday. So really, just a full weekend of tons of entertainment, top-notch, family-friendly fun.
Yes.
Also, I just wanted to mention too, to hop on the Carbondale IL tourism page to follow along for all of our specials. We have many different businesses offering all different types of goods. Just to name a couple, just so you can kind of understand where we're headed with this, like downtown Carbondale, if you stop at Chango's, you can get a free side of queso with a purchase this homecoming weekend. I know Don Taco over on the other side of town is doing a 2 for $5 deal on tacos. And then also just some interactive folks too. So Project Human X, some of our art folks are doing a couple different workshops this weekend as well. And then with the music, like I said, Carbondale never stops with those tunes. So I know
Yes.
after our show on Friday, you can head over to Hangar and PK's for some live music. Hangar's got Tall Paul, so I'm sure some of you 80s and 90s folks can remember a little bit of that too. And so really just a fun weekend full of entertainment here.
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, and make sure you don't want to miss this concert, because not only are you going to have a good time, but there might be some prizes thrown out into that crowd
Oh
that
yeah.
can, help you just kind of expand on the weekend's festivities. So going to be really exciting stuff. Hey, and the Jackson County Mass Transit, now going by JAX, they have a new name they're going by, offering up free rides this weekend.
How incredible, right? You get to go to all these activities free of charge too with that public trans. So we just really wanted to say thank you so much for offering that great Saluki deal this weekend, just so that folks can navigate their entertainment a little bit more at ease.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just so many amazing things. We'll have so many good food and arts and craft vendors galore. And like Dina mentioned, these awesome specials. And it doesn't just stop. I want to reiterate what Dina said earlier. Like, people saying the Strip is the place to be this weekend. That's every weekend. Even if there's not these, quote unquote special deals happening, you can always find a good deal at these local Carbondale businesses and can always find a good time. So keep the good times coming, Carbondale.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just so thrilled to be part of this whole renaissance in Carbondale, and with all these great partnerships too. Like Molly mentioned it, we have such a great synergistic approach here with the university in town, and it's so incredible to see this all continue to grow over this year that I've been in this position. So it's been really rewarding, and super grateful for all these great partnerships in order to do that. So thank you all for being here.
Absolutely.
We also are going to be bringing in, like Molly was saying, all the 80s and 90s alum are coming down. You just mentioned that Mike's Music has moved on the Strip there, just a couple doors down from Mary Lou's. That at one point was a store called Gusto's Graphics.
Okay.
And Gusto's Graphics was run actually by the best friend of my uncle from up in the Chicago area.
Uh-huh.
And so I've known him. In fact, my uncle told me when I came down here in '81, make sure you go and see, his name is Van Anderson, or was Van Anderson, and he owned Gusto's. Back then it was down where Gatsby's used to be.
Okay.
Back where Gatsby's main, which now it's Trax is there. It's where the stage and all that is on that end. That was Gusto's Graphics as well, because back then, before it was Trax, it was Gatsby's. It was just a little tiny hallway of a bar,
Yeah.
and then they also had the pool hall downstairs. Well, anyway, I'm building a watch instead of just telling you. Sorry about that.
I love
But anyway,
this.
Gusto's. If people don't remember, they were the ones. Van is the one that actually made the original sweatshirt that John Belushi wore in the
So
movie
cool.
Animal House.
Oh my
the
gosh.
college sweatshirt.
Yeah.
He made that right here in Carbondale.
Ah.
Because Jim Belushi, John's brother, went to school here at
Yeah.
SIU, became friends with Van. Back in the day, below Thai Taste was a bar called the Rat Hole.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
that's where they used to go downstairs and hang out all the time. And so when John would come and visit, and he came, I think he took some classes at some point, didn't graduate, but
Uh-huh.
but he was a part of, SIU as well. When he would come down and visit, he would be there with Van, who was the owner of Gusto's at the time. And he came in and said, hey, can you make me a college sweatshirt?
Yeah.
He's like, sure, what would you want SIU? And he goes, no, college. He goes, I get that, but, so it wasn't sinking in because who just puts college on
Yes.
the sweatshirt? So, and that's what brought up, because it's all about
So
nostalgia.
funny.
So we might as
Yeah.
well, let's talk about it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, he was selling those sweatshirts, and he had a tag on there because he got permission from the Belushi family to go ahead and sell these shirts legally,
Uh-huh.
because you can see them all over the country, but those were sold not so legally.
Sure.
But he got permission to go ahead and do that. So when SIU basketball was in San Jose for the Sweet 16, I ran into Jim Belushi, who was an SIU grad, and he was at the game with an SIU hat. And I went and I talked to him, and I told him that story,
Uh-huh.
that, hey, he goes, Van was the only one that ever wrote a letter saying, hey, could you allow me to do this?
Yeah.
He goes, I just thought that was the coolest thing. He goes, so absolutely, we gave permission.
Yeah.
So I got a picture with him, and came back and showed that to Van. But yeah, that was all done here, and that's now where Mike's Music is, which is
Oh,
just 2
cool.
doors to the south of Mary Lou's. But yeah, there's lots of great things happening on the Strip. Carbondale is kind of getting a rejuvenation, if you will. And this is going to be a fun weekend. I mean, this is an opportunity for those alum that haven't been back to Carbondale to come back and go, yes, it's changed. But you know what? That's inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
But now we gotta change for the good. And
Yeah.
so I think we're on the right roll.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. I love it. We've got a couple minutes left here, folks. So if you're just tuning in, we've been talking about Friday night, October 11th. We are shutting down the Strip, 7 to 10 p.m. We are having music, Jungle Dogs, and Modern Day Saints. It's going to be an epic time. All right, we just got a minute left. Anyone else want to throw out their last minute thought for me?
I'm just going to say thanks to our partners who have come together to do this. The SIU Alumni Association is so happy to be a part of this. As Steve mentioned, we're welcoming so many great alums back and so many great community members that have that connection, our alumni as well. River Radio, the City of Carbondale, Carbondale Main Street have been unbelievable to come together to work with on this. It just shows what we can do with a lot of teamwork, and we're really happy to be part of it. So my last thing is just to say, go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
Go Dogs!
My last thing to say, I think, folks, is going to be Epic Rager.
That's
That's what this Friday night is going to be.
Epic Rager it is.
Yes, I'm ready.
Absolutely iconic. Hey, thank you all so very much. Dina, Steve, Molly, it's been an absolute pleasure. I am so pumped. So yeah, make sure you please come down and join us on the Strip this Friday. We're shutting it down 11 a.m. and the party starts at 6:30 with people talking, handing out prizes, and then that amazing music 7 to 10 p.m. So we'll see you there, Carbondale. Thanks.